Welcome to the Mojo Market Report. Here's your hosts, Dave Sturchio and Chris Gueci.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Mojo Market Report right here on a Monday. It's a brand new week here at Shop Studios. It is Dave Sturchio. It is Chris Gueci. And, of course, it is A5 Anthony behind the glass. Like I said, coming to you live here from Shop Studios in Mattawa, New Jersey. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody enjoyed the weekend. A lot of stuff went down this weekend. I don't know if you've realized this, how much significance of a sporting weekend it turned out to be. Minus the All-Star game. We'll get into the All-Star game in a second because there's a lot of money to be made. I, for one, cashed on one liquid prop, also lost my arse on another one because, you know, I had all the confidence in the world in one John Morant who went for 6 points. We'll get into all that, but I got to ask you, you know, I know the NFL is done and we'll talk about the NFL around the league in a little bit, but any shot you watched any of this XFL action over the weekend? Come on, be honest.
Dave,
never, not 1 second.
No.
Come
I
on.
did see that Ben DiNucci fumbled at the goal line.
He did. It felt like old times.
I did see that.
It felt like old times.
Old Dallas
So I'm
Cowboy.
asking Mojo now, nicely, kindly. There's not a lot of players. Let's get some XFL action here on the Mojo Market. All right.
Settle down, Dave.
First of all, AJ McCarron lacing it will be on an NFL roster by springtime. Mark that.
Do you want
right
to bet
now.
on that?
No, I don't. But I do want to say it was a feel-good moment to see McCarron go out there and lace it. A couple of the rules that I really like. I mean, I don't know about you. Have you seen or know about the kickoff rule?
No.
Okay, so the kickoff rule is as follows. The kicker will kick from his normal spot, I believe the 35-yard line, right? From opposing 35-yard line. The other side of the field.
It could bounce off the wall or something?
No, that's arena. You got the wrong league. There's the receiving line, and 10 yards apart from them is the kickoff team. But they're down the field already. They're at the 30, right? The kickoff happens. As soon as the guy catches it, they go. Like they head to head. It avoids the 35, 50-yard sprint dash of just complete head-on collisions. It actually starts at ESPN, just play. It starts it without the massive lead up that avoids a little injury, or at least a little bit of risk of an injury.
Cool. I'm going to preemptively answer all your XFL questions with a no. I do not know about it, and I'm down. Teach me. I'm
Did you
okay
know
with it.
that there's a 3-point conversion? There's 1 point, 2 points, 3 points,
Now,
and there's no kicks.
Is this owned by Rock and Jock? What is it? The Rock and Jock?
It's just The Rock.
Is it MTV?
It's just The
Is
Rock.
This MTV?
And,
Do they
David
have a
Garcia.
100-point touchdown too? If you score from
No.
No. You know, the quarterback rolls back 50 yards, stands out a circle.
But the 3-point play is pretty cool. All right, so the 1 point is from the 3, I believe. The 2 point is from the 5, and the 3 point is one play from the 10. So it's just like if you get it, you get a 3-pointer. It's pretty dope. I like it. I mean, also, these rules are just compiling on, and I understand there's no relevance whatsoever to the Mojo Market because of the fact we don't have this yet. There's another, there was a really cool, the onside kick rule. So your team is down, right? So instead of, you can opt for two things if you're down. If you score and you're down by, 5 with 8 seconds to go. Instead of an onside kick, in lieu of an onside kick, you get to run a 4th and 15 play from your own 25. If you don't get it, the other team gets the ball right there. If you get it, you can continue your drive. Cool?
No.
Oh, wow. A tough crowd here at Shop Studios this morning as I sip my
Is
coffee.
it cool? In the moment, it's probably cool, but I feel like it takes away. You talk about.
I saw a team convert it and win.
Okay, fair. Now, we're talking about how the regular season in certain sports don't mean anything because they're so long and boring.
Well,
and
this
then,
is a 10-game season. Every game is so pivotal here in the
except
XFL.
for the game where you get a 5-point lead, right? And then the other team gets the ball back after scoring a touchdown just because there's a rule that says, hey, you could keep the ball here. You just got to convert a play.
A play, 4th and 15, that's a low percentage play. I just think the XFL.
I don't like it.
The original
I would
XFL.
nauseous if they decided to put that into the NFL.
Well, I was
I'd be
just
like,
gonna say,
I'm
the
not
original
so sure I
XFL
could really deal with this
has
anymore.
taken a few things from the original. Like the NFL has taken things from the original XFL, the sky cam, the interviews on the sidelines, which, by the way, I still think they need to dial that back. I mean, they're talking to guys right after a touchdown. Like he's like, what's going through your mind on that play? They're like, well, I just need to score.
I'm gonna have to take your word for it. I also think they should dial that back.
Give it a chance. Thursday night is week 2's start. Give it a shot. Put it on the old tube and see if you're like, oh, But listen, they're labeling this. The Rock has labeled this as the 54th man, meaning
Wait,
like
so
this
is
is
the Rock's thing?
Yeah,
I don't really like The Rock.
How do you not like The Rock?
I have a better question. How could you possibly like The Rock?
He's so inspirational. My God, businessman, entrepreneur. He's got his own tequila.
I think Rock was a really good wrestler. I think everything else after that he's bad at.
No, you don't like any Rock movies?
I didn't say I didn't like any of his movies. I don't.
Well,
think
then he's an actor. That's after wrestling.
But I don't like certain musicians, but I think that they have good songs. But I don't like them. I don't like The Rock. Wow. I think The Rock is slightly overbearing.
Listen, Dwayne, all right? This opinion of this show is only one man. You still want to hire a guy to do your play-by-play,
But there's been times throughout The Rock's career where I've really liked The Rock. Like, I'm not a wrestling guy, but
Nation of Domination days.
The Rock was the man when it came to the eyebrow and it doesn't matter. Like, that's The Rock that I care about. The new Rock, he's like 61. He's in better shape than me. I'm not buying it. And enough is enough with the movies. Like, for every good
he's all
movie,
natural, too.
for every
Thank
good
God.
movie he has, how many bad ones are there? 10.
The Tooth Fairy.
20.
The Game Plan. That's really it. There's 2. 2 bad movies. Everything else is
He's
great.
in 400 movies this month.
Scorpion King wasn't all that good.
You think 398 of them were good?
They're all top 5. Anyway, That's the XFL. Had himself a day. Now, look, we did talk. There is a special episode on our playlist right now on the Mojo Market playlist on YouTube. We talked to our boy Doug Kazarian of ESPN last week. He had mentioned he would say golf would be a cool sport to add to Mojo. And then I watched John Rahm take care of business over the weekend. He gets himself a dub. So again, that's something to consider. And then did you watch the Daytona 500? You stayed away from everything, huh? Jesus Christmas.
I didn't even know this is...
You didn't even know that Daytona is the week after the Super Bowl?
No, I didn't even know.
Every year?
I didn't even know that they still raced.
Oh my
Daytona
God.
500.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding. Of course I knew that
I
they
didn't
still
know.
raced it. I
He's
had
being
no
sincere.
idea. I had no idea that it was yesterday, though.
Yeah, it was.
Until now.
And I can't tell you who won it, but I will say
I know Joey
heavy
Logano
action.
did not win it.
Heavy action within our boys, the Sauce, and like the heavy action. So look, Mojo, guys, I know you just
that's
lost
why I
NBA.
said I know Joey Logano didn't win it. Because I know that they had Joey Logano in all of their bets. And
So that was
trifectas?
NASCAR.
Do they do trifectas in
I have
NASCAR?
no idea. What are they, horses?
I thought you were a NASCAR guy.
I'm not.
I
I'm
don't
not
know
a
if it's
I'm
because
letting
they're
you know it
horses
is.
or it's because they're racing and there's a first, second, and third. I think that's the criteria for a trifecta. You don't have to be a horse.
I don't have a horse in the race.
I was talking to the horse here.
What is that, bro?
Half-baked.
Good movie. My mom took me out of that movie. It was the only movie I've ever been removed from.
Funny, my dad brought me to see that movie. Yeah.
Different upbringings here at Chop Studios and, of course, on the Mojo Market Report. I guess we should get into some of the tasks at hand last night. Liquid prop bets with the NBA All-Star Game. Now, we both chose our teams the other day. Apparently, from what I've heard, I got dusted in the draft. But the more I look at it, I'm just going to pull up the draft from the other day. Is who had Tatum? Who had Tatum?
Me.
Damn, you did have Tatum?
He was like my fourth pick.
Damn, dude, you had all right, so you would have probably won. If like you stacked all the scores together between the guys that we drafted on Friday, I think you would have wiped.
John
the floor
Morant
with me.
really
My team was so bad.
took a dump.
John Morant. All right, so I will say that this is the results.
I think Giannis scored the first 2 points, didn't play the rest of the game.
He didn't. He came out, tapped out, said, "I'm good."
And there's a lot of people that are ticked off about it.
Why? Oh, because of bets.
Bets. Well, I mean, if you followed the week,
Hey, you know
should've
that he's
you
drafting
go
a team with a
over on-
cast on his
You're going
hand.
over on Giannis on any of his totals.
That's your
and
fault.
That's on you.
You're right. I loved. Remind me if this happened last year. Did they do the same thing last year as far as schoolyard picking like they did yesterday? schoolyard picking, meaning like LeBron and Giannis were just standing at the podium and they were literally looking behind them, like I got Ja.
Oh, wait. So you think I
Dude.
know how they picked this last year?
Hey, do you have any idea?
I would imagine they did it the exact same way.
All right, cool. Well, anyway,
Like
I loved it.
Gym class, they all have all the guys standing there, and they have to have a last pick.
I think the funniest moment was Giannis tried to pick Ja Morant as a reserve, and like the entire broadcast was like, "Well, that's cool, great pick. He's a starter, so you can't pick him here." He's like, "Oh," he's like, and then he goes back to his board. He's like, "Damn it!" Like that was his whole strategy was like down out the window. I was surprised that Tatum went so high. And I was like, oh, all these players, the Joker and Luka, all still on the board. And Jason Tatum was picked. And I was like, dumb. 50 plus last night. He sets an absolute record. So he went over by a little bit. His over, he's 10 from 18 from three-point land. So he went way over his mark. Scores 55. LeBron, his liquid prop was 3.5 threes. And he goes 1 of 5. So another thing is, it's very hard to bet the liquid prop 3 points in the All-Star game based on the way the game is played. These guys were shooting from half court all night, just for S's and G's. You know what I mean? Like, there's just, I didn't really understand the rhyme or reason, but they're playing for charity, playing for money, and I understand that some of these guys are in it, but like they asked Joker, who didn't do anything, he just said, this kind of game's not for me. Like this whole like schoolyard, no defense, just like letting people score.
That's why I picked him.
The personality?
Yeah, it's like, if it goes down, if there's a fight, if these people all start to, if there's any beef on the court,
if he rumbles,
that's when the Joker comes into play. He's going to use his fouls properly.
Kyrie Irving was picked by LeBron. It's an awkward moment. All right, but Kyrie Irving was set at 3.7 on his 3 points made. He went 4 from 8. 4 of 8. So he slaps that. Jason Tatum, I talked about him. Dame time. Ready for this? His 7.15 3-pointers made, he hits 8. So bang, slams that at the very end. But also took 20 shots from 3-point land. He went 8 of 20 from deep. So Dame time was looking for a lot. Ready for this? This is my favorite play of the night. Julius Randle, who obviously was drafted by Team LeBron. So my heavy allegiance was with Team LeBron as a Knicks guy. His over-under was 14.9 points, rebounds, assists. The guy gets 2 boards, 2 assists, 11 points, slaps the over. Just like that. And I was like, well, that's fun. That's a nice little way to end your weekend if you slap the over on that one.
You know how they gave him his points? You know how like at the end of the game?
Nah, he was hitting he dropped a couple of nice
buckets. They have like one of
buckets.
their charity, like it'll be like a trainer will get a free basket. They did that to Julius Randle at the end of the game. They were like, everyone clear out.
Just take
Let
the
him
shot.
get this rebound. If
Take
he
the
misses,
shot, Julius.
So he's got 2 boards, 2 assists. I wonder if they counted those as like 2 offensive rebounds after his miss.
just
I'm kidding.
crashing the boards.
Julius Randle did great in the 3-point contest.
He did. Wow, did you see the dunk contest?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. What a star is born over there, man.
Yeah, man.
I did not expect that little man to get that
a star
up.
is born.
Whenever you win the dunk contest, you're remembered.
Yeah,
for
he signed a 2-way contract 2 days ago to even participate in the dunk contest. He was in the G League last week at the time of recording.
So do you
show.
think he gets a shot at the title here? A shot at the B Sixer going forward?
No. I think if they look, you want to sell a couple of tickets for warm-ups, maybe Mac McClung will throw down in the layup line. But I don't know that if you see him out there next to all those other guys, there's a size issue. And when it comes down to it,
does it matter?
You can dunk all you want, but you can't
hitting
defend.
his head on the backboard.
He has a tough time guarding other guards. The NBA guards now are like, Chris Paul's.
I watched the highlight video the other day of White Chocolate. Unbelievable.
Kidding me?
Jason Williams was unbelievable.
I'm chasing a Jason Williams autographed jersey. Like
it's out there.
NBA breaks.
That's one of the breaks.
Hell yes, it
man.
is.
I hope you
Hell
get that
yes,
one.
it is.
So Ja Morant, we talked about it. His I cashed out way early. I was like, I lost money already, so you might as well just get out and try to reinvest. I'll tell you who I reinvested in a little bit. It's interesting where I went with my money on the Mojo Market, not in the NBA. Donovan Mitchell, we talked about. Well, you didn't talk about it. He scores 40. He smashes his over. He was set at 22 points over under. He far just surpassed that easy. Luka, it didn't seem like he cared much. I mean, are we heading down the same road as the Pro Bowl, where it's like the
we're already there.
But I'm saying like the ambiance is great. The intros are fun. Everything was great. Shaq and Barkley were at each other's throats again. They had a hot mic, by the way, which was very interesting.
This is to me,
like there's no effort.
This is what it should be. These is a bunch of star players going to have fun. They earn the fun. They earn their chance to go have some fun. Everybody else wants these guys to care. Come on, man.
The issue
what are
is
you talking about.
It's right in the middle of the season. So if you do care and you do throw some like effort, there's a chance you roll your ankle and you're out for the year.
Which is exactly why they don't.
Which is why maybe the All-Star game should be moved to the after the season. What about that?
I think the All-Star game is for the break. You get an All-Star break. The guys get a break.
Not if you get elected to the All-Star team.
And honestly, the players love it because it's for the most part it is just for fun. You do win some money, etc. So getting named to the All-Star team is cool. You get paid. It's a feather in the cap.
Should the fans be stripped of their vote for the starters? Because it's like some of these starters are, like they're all hurt. Like none of
honestly, it's what it is, bro. It's for the fans.
Okay.
I think we should just keep it exactly how it is.
I'm not trying to like wave my fist and like
I'm saying that whatever they're going to do, they should cater it towards what do the players want and what's going to make more money. Because this is business after all. That's what they're going to do. That's what they should do. And if they're going to keep it in the middle of the season, the lack of effort is telling, and I'm here for it. I don't want anybody to get hurt.
Well, that's why Giannis was out within a half of a blink of an eye. Like he went out there, made a layup.
By the way, Giannis
fouled and left.
What would have been more exciting than watching the entire dunk contest outside of Mac McClung's dunks would have just been watching Giannis videotape everything.
He was a kid in the candy store. He loved it. He loved it.
Did you see Julius Randle's son crying when he made no threes in the 3-point contest? And he was like looking back, he's like, yo, it's for fun. It was Dame and somebody else were messing with him. They're like, yo, your kid's a wreck right now. Because you stink.
Go consult your child there, Julius. Just save all the good threes and the clutch big baskets for the end of the year because the Knicks will be a playoff team when it's all said and done. So keep all that in your arsenal. But yeah, so that's the NBA All-Star
Randall
game.
Cuts it to the lead. The Hawks lead to 11.
First of all, we just sparked the Hawks. I don't want to hear that crap. That was easy. Easy money. Easy money. So now I'm going to go real quick just to check the schedule here. And it looks like, what's today? The 20th.
Looks like we're going to get games on Tuesday.
Tomorrow. Yeah, we're back tomorrow for the NBA. So definitely keep your eye on the prop bets. They usually drop them around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So they're ready to go. We'll talk about the fallout. Well, that's actually tomorrow. So we'll talk about the preview of what we got tomorrow. No, I'm so wrong. I'm beyond wrong. The games don't resume until Thursday. So this week will be very, very fun.
All-Star break.
This is a break, indeed, because I think the last game is that 7 days?
Introducing Major League Baseball props tomorrow.
Oh, I can't wait to that. I mean, it's just something about the pop of the glove. That first pop of the glove you hear in spring training, you just get ready to go.
Saw Carlos Rodon throwing some heat.
Yeah.
This weekend.
Well, we need that. We need that so bad because I swear, if that pitching staff gets any kind of injury, we're like so screwed. We're not deep. I'll tell you that right now. We're not deep with pitching. We're not.
Deeper than most.
I don't know. Okay. I don't like it.
When we're not going to have this conversation now.
Oh, we will one day. Yeah. One day. Yeah. So anyway,
I disagree about the depth of pitching.
Okay. I guess we'll see what happens when the season rolls around.
We're talking about Severino's the 4.
The NFL. Guess what, guys? Can't get away from it because free agency right around the corner. So is the NFL Combine. So we're going to get a lot of writings over there on Mojo.com about guys you keep your eye on. But around the league today, there is a couple things that kind of popped out over the weekend. Derek Carr, which we talked about at length last week, visited the Jets officially, wined and dined, went to the Olive Garden. No, I really don't know. I have no idea where they went. But Derek Carr, I would love to be a fly on the wall just because I would love to hear what Woody Johnson and company have to say, the GM and everybody saying is Joe Douglas out there saying, you are the guy we want here in New York, to face in New York? Or are they saying, you are the guy we want in New York? Just wait until what Rodgers does, and then you're definitely going to be the guy in New York. Is that how it's going on right now? Do you think they actually went into these meetings telling him he's option number 2?
No, I don't think that. I think that they go in there and they initially do what a lot of other business owners would do when they're interviewing somebody. They ask them certain questions, maybe throw a little bit of the offense at them, ask them certain things, and then say, okay.
We'll let you know.
We know you talk to the Saints. We know that you're going to follow through this process and go talk to other teams as well.
Carolina's on the radar, yeah.
And I think with a guy like Carr, he's a professional. I think that you could be fairly transparent, and I think that'll go a long way. If I was an NFL GM, I would be honest. I'd be like, look, this is what it is. You know the situation. You know where we're at. We have a guy out there in Aaron Rodgers. We're kind of waiting to see. That's the first chip that we think is going to fall here. Or if you and your agent have other plans, let us know. Because if we have to move forward on you, then we have to have another conversation over here. I think that Derek Carr would be like, okay, makes sense. You need to know what you're going to do as an organization. And if I'm going to be here, I would like to assist you in that process and let you know exactly how it's going to be. Because in 2 weeks, he could be a Jet. Whether or not anything is said, it does not matter.
Put your GM hat on for a second. You're Joe Douglas right now, right? Derek Carr calls you, says, thank you so much for the great weekend, right? But the Saints just offered me a contract. Do you go nuts and say, oh, well, hold on.
I think there's risk assessment there.
There's a lot of risk because I told you last week, and I've told a lot of Jets fans that I know, there's a realistic possibility that they miss out on everybody that they wanted because they didn't act fast enough.
I think because of the fickle situation surrounding Aaron Rodgers, I don't know that it would be wise for any team that has realistic expectations if they were quarterback away to make some noise, that they would risk losing out on said quarterback because it could ruin their franchise for 2-3 years. You have no idea how that's going to play out.
Yeah, interesting.
Now, to touch back a little bit on the point you were making about, do they tell Derek Carr? Not just yet. It's so standard in the NFL for guys to get entered into a situation where they were not the number one option. It could go in two separate situations that I could think of out of the gate. And this is head coaching candidates, where it could be the Broncos wanted this guy or that guy, or the Cardinals were in on Sean Payton and he was their first option. He gets hired by the Broncos. Now, if you're another head coach, are you going to be like, they didn't even want me? Or are you going to go get hired and take the opportunity? Because that's what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's a job. It's an opportunity. You're getting paid.
You're making a point.
Now, in other situations where you see a backup quarterback or a starting quarterback get his job taken, or vice versa, maybe a starter keeps his job and the incumbent or the guy that's about to take over is probably better, but they go with the starter, right? And then mid-season, they make a move. They weren't, the backup isn't like, well, I'm not playing now. You didn't choose me before. It's like, no, now you get your opportunity. People are wrong all the time. It's just in free agency, you don't have the chance to get both.
Flip side of the coin, Raiders football, right? You would think the reason why they outright cut Derek Carr is because they think they're in a division with elite quarterback play, that they don't have the elite quarterback to run with those other guys, so they have to have a plan. They have to be suitors number one for Aaron Rodgers then, because you cannot go into the season with Jarrett Stidham or Jimmy G or any of these guys that are going to become available, because they're not elite. They're not Mahomes. They're not Herbert. They're not even good Russ. You know what I'm saying? If Russ turns it around with Peyton, then you're literally in the backseat.
I mean, where were we 6 months ago? I feel like they were in a good spot with Derek Carr. I don't think that anyone
played
around
the games.
I don't think
they
anybody
played the games.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know about anybody around the league is thinking that Derek Carr was the reason that the Raiders were not playing well this year. Their pass rush disappeared. They had no secondary to speak of whatsoever. Their offensive line played really well. Derek Carr did turn it over a ton, and specifically in big spots, but the Raiders had a lot of tough losses early in the year.
They did.
And then when you're looking at the Derek Carr saga in Oakland, or Vegas and Oakland, because it's been both places,
been everywhere.
This guy dealt with coaching change
Las
after
Vegas.
coaching change, right? They've had success with coaches. Let said coaches go to hire other coaches that did not jive with the system and the way Derek Carr has been doing things. And now I say Derek Carr has been doing things. He's been the one constant for the Raiders. We just talked about the coaches revolving door. Look at the first-round picks that the Raiders have made in the last 6 years.
Some of them have been brutal.
I don't know that even one of them, outside of this year's first-rounder, is on the team still. Because Ruggs from the year before certainly is.
He's in jail.
And then we could go back. Alex Leatherwood. How many cuts have the Raiders made? Look at their defense. Every guy, their safety that the Packers picked up. Abrams or whatever, cut. What round was he picked in?
He was early. I don't know about first, maybe second. He might have been first. But
So-
that was also Mike Mayock, and that guy looked like he had no idea what he was doing.
Okay, so now we could sit here and say, who's the scapegoat? Who's the fall guy? After we just brought in this new regime, we were supposed to compete. We signed Devontae. We get all these guys in on defense. We get Chandler Jones. Max Crosby is the man. What happens? Josh McDaniels is
I got a
bum head
feeling
coach.
that there's a whole new start coming into Las Vegas, and it starts with Mark Davis shaving his head. Did you see that? Well, hey, listen, anything is better than the
Aaron
Lloyd
Rodgers
Christmas.
is the quarterback in Vegas. They're still not going to have any pass rush, and they're still not going to be able to
Yeah,
cover
but at least
anybody.
maybe in these shootouts, you might get a little something. I don't like him and reunited with Adams underneath the Renfro, Waller. When's the last time Rodgers had a tight end like that? It's ever, Waller is more talented than any tight end that the Packers ever had.
I don't think that Rodgers is going to go to the Raiders at this point, and all of a sudden he might. I'm just saying. I don't think that all of a sudden. No, he might go to the Raiders. I'm saying that I don't think that the Raiders' offense is any better than any other offenses he played on. He had Devontae in his prime, Devontae's whole career.
Yeah, but
what?
I think right now, on paper, not execution-wise, on paper, I think the Raiders might have a little bit of a better offense if they execute.
Fine, yeah, Devontae.
Right. And Renfro and Waller and Jacobs and these guys.
Renfro's probably out.
No.
Yeah. What do you mean?
We'll see. But they are losing Mac Hollins, so he was something to say. One more thing before we get out of here. Daniel Jones of the New York Giants has decided to part ways with his current agency, move on to somebody else. I ask you, Chris, is he going to start to play hardball here, or is he just so tired of the garbage that the old agency might have provided? Meaning, like he was like, I want to be a Giant forever, right? And the guy's like, well, you might want to try this market here. And he's no, I want the. Like, what went wrong for him to do this literally right before free agency starts, where he's got to make a move?
Yeah, I mean,
career-wise,
it's one or the other. Either he wants to be a Giant, and his agent wants him to go talk to other teams, and he's kind of saying, I kind of feel like this is the spot for me. And the agent's like, dude, no, you're costing us money. And he said, well, you know what? Actually, I'm not, because you're out. And the other guy comes in, and he gets 10% of whatever Daniel Jones decides, right? And he's going to be happy. Or Daniel Jones wants to go somewhere else, which is the less likely situation, because I know an agent isn't going to be like, no, we should stick with the Giants. Like, don't talk to any other teams. Daniel Jones is unrestricted. They didn't do. They can tag him, but they're not going to.
It's like $40 million.
They're not going to, because
they got to use the tag on Saquon, possibly.
Definitely.
There's only one tag. You know what I mean?
Saquon's going to get tagged, and
DJ gets the deal.
Yeah, I said that week 2.
I'm pretty sure you did. I found it interesting. I don't think Daniel Jones has the makeup to be like hardball. Like, oh no, you're gonna pay me this, bro. Like, I don't see that out of Daniel Jones. Then again, he's very quiet. Nobody knows.
The beauty of the agent is that the player gets away from that. That's literally the point of the agent.
And that's exactly what guys like Dak Prescott and other people that I've seen in these negotiations have said. Anytime they're asked, they're like, that's not me. That's my agent. You go talk to him. Like, I'm just going to try to win a Super Bowl here. And the Giants are at least on the come up right now. And the Giants might be the best spot for Daniel Jones to proceed, considering Brian Daboll, the system, everything.
I think if the Giants are talking about publicly wanting to offer him 35, that means that he'll probably get between 35 and 40, which is about right.
Which I told you, once he signs that deal for 35, if it's like that, he becomes the 9th highest paid quarterback in the league right now. Does he deserve that spot?
Yes.
I would say yes.
100%.
I would say yes.
100%.
I would confidently take Daniel Jones over Kirk Cousins right now.
I would not confidently.
I would take him.
I would take him over Kirk Cousins because of what he could do with his legs, and because I don't see him being, as he progresses, I don't think he's going to get worse than what Kirk Cousins is. But I think right now Kirk Cousins is a slightly better quarterback.
Kirk Cousins is like he's hit his ceiling. He's hit his ceiling. You have the best receiver in football on your team.
He has hit his ceiling.
Get over that hump.
He hit his ceiling. I mean, I don't know that Kirk Cousins is the reason why they're not getting over the hump. That defense was brutal. This
right?
year,
Correct.
Right. If
that's
they had
true.
the number 1 defense in the NFL this year with Kirk Cousins,
Kirk
Cousins' contract isn't necessarily hurting the Vikings.
It's a 1-year thing, so they got to renegotiate. They got to get him another one.
Kirk Cousins' contract is trust me, it's definitely not, because when we're talking about quarterbacks making $40 million. That's par for the course.
Now it is, yeah.
Daniel Jones about to get paid, and I don't even think Cousins is making $40 million.
He's up there. He's absolutely up there. But that's the thing. Will he be up there? He's about to get another year from the Vikings. How steep are the Vikings willing to go? So keep your eye on all this stuff as free agency goes down very, very soon. But you can also follow along with Everything Mojo by heading on over to the social medias, and that is on Twitter, Instagram, and, of course, the TikTok, at Mojo, M-O-J-O, easy to find us. Discord, you can find us over there. Daily conversation, rules, how to apply, how to really like do all these liquid prop bets. There's great information over there on the Instagram. Go check all that stuff out because that is how you make some money. Again, I made some money, lost some. I think I broke even yesterday in the All-Star game, but I'll look more deeper into it as the season resumes. There's only like 30 games left, which is crazy because the All-Star game in the NBA is completely like not in the middle of the season. But yeah, we're gonna dive into that. Free agency starting. We got a lot of things to talk about this week, so be sure to keep tabs on us, like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. So for Dave Sturchio, Chris Gueci, 8'5", Behind the Glass here at Chop Studios, this has indeed been another episode of the Mojo Market Report. See you back here tomorrow.
Yes, yes.